Good afternoon. This is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And this is Tanika Gillard. I am Naturally Yours in Birmingham, Alabama.
So, how was your day, Nikki? You know how we start this thing?
I don't know. My son took his first driving lesson today. So I heard he did pretty good. So I'm proud of him for that. I packed up our bag. So if y'all see the junk behind me, I'm getting ready to send off to Mississippi Baptist Hospital. So I've been packing that stuff up, getting it ready to ship out this week. And next, I'm going to a wedding. So my day is full. How about yours?
Awesome. I'm excited about you going to this wedding. Now, whose wedding is it?
One of the girls, she's a makeup artist. She's young, so I'm proud of her. So they've been dating forever and a day, and so now today is the day. But I will have on my mask, and I think a lot of people from the shop will be there to support her.
Nice, nice. I still see your fuchsia going on the sides there. I see it through the camera. Your pink, your purple.
Yeah. It's a little bit bright for me, but it's okay. It's
Bright is
okay.
good. Bright is good.
It's all right.
So, my day has been okay, but my daughter is having a daughter. So I'm excited. We are ready to welcome a
Oh,
grandbaby girl.
congratulations.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you, thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
We all wanted a girl, so especially my daughter. She's like, enough of this. We need another girl in the family, you know. So
That's
we're
right.
happy.
I agree with Ray. I
Yes,
agree with her.
she looked absolutely beautiful for her gender reveal yesterday. I was sorry I couldn't go, but
I
you
like the
know,
eyeshadow. Yeah.
yeah,
The shadow
yeah. She
was
had
like a
a
purple
professional
and a
makeup
blue, a
artist.
pink and a blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to get right into it now?
That's fine. What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about petroleum-based greases and stuff versus your Shea moisture, your Shea butters, your Shea products.
Okay. There we go. I was seeing anything on Facebook. So I wanted
Uh-huh.
to say thank you guys for watching and sharing and liking. This is the Twinness. Y'all know we come to y'all on Sundays and Wednesdays. So we're going to talk about, okay, so are you for petroleum based or against? So what's going to be your stance today?
Well, well, I like them both depending on what it's for, but you want me to take a stance on one or the other. I'm going to go with Shea.
You're going to go with Shea as
Hmm.
better than petroleum? Okay, no problem. Now hit me with your Shea. Give me good points on Shea.
Okay. And I just got to say, guys, that just because we're identical twins does not mean that we think alike all the time. We do go against each other in a nice way. Um, so here we go. I took my little notes so I wouldn't forget anything. But
I did too.
Shay does have some cons, you know. But um, let me see here. Hmm. Hmm. Shea butter can be softer on the hair and it can seal in moisture better than grease. Once it gets into the follicles, it seals in the moisture better than grease. It doesn't just lay on top of the hair like grease. However, I must say it depends on how you use it because if you use Shea, because I do have Shea products at the salon, if you put it on hard, it's not gonna go in. It's better for you to use the Shea on damp hair as opposed to just because the way I've been doing it all wrong. It's just applying it to the scalp afterwards. But really, like coconut oil, you can't use it in its solid form like that. You really need to make sure that the Shea is soft. So I say that Shea is a good moisturizer for the follicles if you use it on damp hair as opposed to on dry hair. Are you taking notes? Are you
Okay.
taking notes? I need to get my pen because if you're taking notes, I
I'm
need to take
listening
notes.
to what you have to say.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
listening.
I feel like Shea can give you more shine and stretch when you're doing like uh, fine curls, when you're doing a twist out, when you're doing a twist out. Okay, you're just listening. Okay, all right, all right. Um,
Yes, because I disagree.
okay, okay, okay. Um, Shea you can use on color treated hair. So like what you have going on, you know. So Shea is loaded with vitamin A and vitamin E, and it reduces frizz and it protects against heat damage. So when you're ready to flat iron, you got that Shea on, you're good with that. Where in grease, you remember back in the day when we would get that pressing comb and it would be like, psst, oh, that's just the grease flying. You remember
But
that.
it still was protecting it, and it
Mm-mm.
kept the hair straight
Not when your
longer
hair
than
was,
the
not when
Shea
the ends were breaking off. Not when the ends were breaking off.
because you
They
didn't.
were
It
burnt.
wasn't properly applied. But I'm gonna let you finish your point. See.
Okay, okay. And of course, we already know that Shea is a good UV protectant. The things I don't like about Shea is like um, you cannot really apply Shea to locks. So if I apply Shea to my locks, now I'm going to get it embedded in my locks. It's going to cause lint buildup and dirt and everything to be like embedded in my locks. Wherein I would then have to do like an apple cider vinegar rinse or something like that. That is an oil, it solidifies as well. And you don't want that in your locks. You don't want that in your braids. Um, so there I will say is a negative for the Shea. But everything else, I feel like it's a positive. When you do like a twist out with the grease, it gives you more volume, but it doesn't give you as much shine. It gives you the
It gives
volume,
you
but it
more
doesn't give you the shine.
definition. It gives you more definition, more shine, and
No,
longevity with the
no,
petroleum. Yes, it does. And just like with my noogie, when I take her braids down, they got good curl. They got good moisture still in there. Like with shea butter, you don't like with okay with petroleum based, petroleum lanolin, and mineral oil based products. Right? We doing opposite. She's for shea. I'm for grease. Old fashioned grease. Now she's frozen, so I don't know if she needs to come back and go out and come back in because she's frozen. But I'm for grease. And so when I do my daughter's hair and I use grease or pomade, it has a lot of definition. It's still moist and it holds the curl for a longer period of time than Shea does. Than shea butter and coconut butter. That's what she's on that side. And I'm on the opposite side. It doesn't frizz up as easily, and you do not have to reapply grease like you would the Shea the Shea and coconut products. Like with my daughter, I'll grease her scalp at the beginning, and that's it. I don't have to do anything else to her hair. Now with me, with the grease, I don't necessarily put it on the scalp unless it's super dry, but I will put it throughout her hair, especially the ends, because grease is a good sealant for the ends. So what I was saying, Tisha, you back?
I'm back.
With grease,
I was going bent
oh,
when you said mineral oil.
hey, grease has petroleum, mineral, and lanolin. You
Mm-hmm.
know, okay, yeah, Shatika, I see her comment. Unless you soften it, Tisha did hit that point that you need to soften the shea butter as well as the coconut oil. Now Teak, that we used to use grease back in the day. See, coconut oil dries her hair out, and what I'm saying is that grease might have its issues, but it got the job done then, and people are going back to grease because it's still doing the job now. Now, let me get to my points.
Okay. Excuse
Okay.
me.
Yes, we know. Okay, the myth was that grease clogs the pores. It can't
Mm.
clog the pore because the molecules are too big to even get into the pore. All it can do is sit on top. So if you have scalp issues, maybe dry scalp only, you can use the grease on it to help, but you don't want, if you have dandruff, that means you have an overabundance of oil already. But if you have dry scalp, grease will be just fine. And then you want to put a little bit on there, but you really want to seal in your moisture after you use your. See, two people said that coconut
I said
oil
I'm not
dry.
for coconut oil. I said I'm not coconut oil.
Okay,
I
okay,
agree with you
okay.
there.
so, so yeah, so I believe it's in the application. So
I'm
if
sorry, one
you
second. I'm sorry. Shatika, which part is not true? Just make it in your comments. Put it in your comments.
Okay, so my thing is, if you do say your coconut oil or whatever in the beginning, and then add your little grease as a sealant, you good to go. And then I already said that it adds moisture and it's a good sealant. It's good for humidity because your hair is not going to shrivel up and shrink and be dry. A lot of people that use the Shea products, their hair is still dry and brittle, and they have to keep reapplying, and it's costly. That's my next point. What?
We already said sometimes people, well, the customer, the client is applying the shade the wrong way. If they're applying it
Improperly. I
to a
got you.
dry scalp, that's not going to work. You have to apply it
I got
because
you.
it
I
will
got you.
sit. Okay, it will sit. You got to apply it right.
When the naturals came out with all of the Shea and all of that stuff, people were running to the store, buying, spending a lot of money on products, and it was not working for their hair. Then they come to the shop and say, hey, I bought all this crap. My sink is full of all these natural products, and that none of it is working for my hair. So they're going back to what's cost effective. I'm not going to say cheap, cost effective at $3 a jar or $4 a jar. And now that they're infused with argan oil and maybe coconut oil and stuff like that, is people are finding the grease that works best for them, because you got your light oils, your heavy pomades. Grease is good for detangling. I don't even have to say nothing on that one, because when I take out my Noogie's hair and I have to comb through it and she has grease in her hair, I could get through her hair easily. So yes, more for less. Thank you, Miss Richardson. So I'm just saying, grease, you know, um, and even though it just sits on top, I don't mind. I use a little grease on my skin, especially those ashy elbows and ashy knees, and on the heels of your feet and stuff. I like grease. So I'm not, I use Shea too. I'm going to be very honest. Sometimes I'll mix the two together to make it last all day. But yeah, stick with what you know, which is hair grease. So a lot of the naturals are to the grease because it worked for their mama and them. Although we know that Shea has all of the benefits, all of the minerals that you mentioned in shea butter. You wouldn't use grease or shea butter on locks. So, and your hair might need a clarifying at least once a month anyway. And you could clarify your hair with apple cider vinegar or charcoal, bentonite clay or apple cider vinegar. So thank you guys for joining us today. We just fussing with each other about Shea versus grease, the old versus the new. And of course, we even though we're twins, we have different points of view from time to time. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But that's why she is who she is and I am who I am. We still individuals, y'all. I'm Tanika Gillard. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. I am naturally yours.
And I'm Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio here in the Poconos. This was a fun topic today, Nikki. This was a fun, light topic. Although I heard it was pun intended, this is a heavy topic. We're talking about grease and pomades.
Yes.
So,
And I might get the flack at the end of the show, T. Whoever's catching the replay might be like, "Oh, Nikki is wrong for that," But thank you, T. I thought about you the other day cooking something. I don't know what I was cooking, but anyway, yes. So I know I'm probably going to catch the flack because, but then there were some other products on the market, I'm not going to say any names, that were really great for adding moisture. They was very expensive, but they were great for adding moisture to natural hair. And I love that product. So, even though I do natural hair, I don't necessarily, and petroleum is natural, y'all. So I can't even say that I'm against it because it's still a natural product.
it is. I said it is. I agree with you. I agree with you.
That's for anybody else coming in after.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Well, I must say that I use. I'm not a big fan. I don't know if I can say the name. I'm not a big fan of this particular product. It goes versus my Shea Moisture. That's all I can say. I don't care for the shampoo and the conditioner. However, I did apply the pomade to my daughter's hair, and I did like the pomade of that product. Um, and I actually, yeah, all right, whatever. I'm still with the Shea because what they're doing now is refining it more so that it is more applicable to the hair. You can apply it
Okay.
better because we know that it's very hard. It's even hard to soften. And who got time to be at the salon? Give me a second. Let me go to the microwave so I can heat up the Shea, butter. I
Right.
don't have time for
Right.
that. So they're
Right.
making the products more palatable for the hair, easier for you to use.
Yeah.
Um,
Now I like Shea for the skin, and y'all know I don't know if you all know, but I used to make butters, and so with the Shea, I always added different oils and whipped it up so that the Shea could be more pliable. And when I was selling it, people loved it because it had different oils in it, and it was softer. It wasn't as hard to manipulate, and then you could still use it on your hair and skin. You remember when you used my cheap product on your daughter's hair for cheer, and you was like, this is some good cheap stuff, but you didn't know that I had put it in a different container. So you thought it was something else, but it was really my product in the container that you used on her hair and on her skin, and it flat ironed beautifully.
it wasn't petroleum though.
No, it was not. It was Shea
It's
with
Shea.
other
Oh,
oils
there
in
you
it.
go. So what? So what you saying?
I'm just saying, I just said that I made the butters and I
Well,
would
I'm
use it
just
on
saying.
my
I'm
skin,
saying.
on my skin. You just happened to
Well,
use it on her hair that day.
mm,
But it still was good for the day.
it was. It was.
But it had other oils in it besides
That's the
Shea.
thing. That's what I'm saying. When you add other oils to the Shea, you make it more flexible. You make it
Pliable.
more
I got it.
usable. You make it more,
Yes, but even when people flat iron their hair with grease, it still lasts longer. Like you could flat iron your hair with grease and go out in the
I don't like
humidity
that
and
greasy
still,
feeling of
I
grease
understand the
when you
heaviness
flat
of it.
iron.
Okay.
And it makes it look too flat. I don't know if that
I
makes sense,
understand
but
what
it
you're
makes it look
saying.
stringy
Yes.
when you use the petroleum as opposed to the Shea. It doesn't make it look as
Bouncy.
right. The
It
Shea
looks
is
heavy
bouncier.
laden. It looks heavy laden with grease.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes,
I
I
got
don't
you.
like
I
that look
got
at
you.
all.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, I
Right.
see. I agree with you, Shatika, on that. That's why you have to read the label for the ingredients and see what's in it before you purchase.
No alcohol, no mineral oil. Because I'm gonna tell you, mineral oil. Okay, I got you. Um, what was I saying? No mineral oil because mineral oil will coat the hair, but it's really not doing anything healthy for the hair.
So does petroleum and lanolin. Now, lanolin is your I would say lanolin is your best, and then I would do the petroleum and then mineral oil. But sometimes your grease have all three in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, but you just don't recognize the name.
The
You
names, yeah.
have to be a
That's how they
chemist
get
to
you. Because if you
understand
don't
it.
know the
Yeah.
names, then you don't understand.
Exactly. So sometimes most of your greases are going to have all three in it. But if I go to the health food store or something, I will get a jar of just lanolin and mix that with my grease. I like lanolin too. So that could be a little expensive, more expensive than just plain grease. But I do like it.
But sometimes, they'll put, let's say petroleum is your first ingredient and the Shea is all the way at the end. So you're not really giving me, a good mix of it. You're just
Right.
throwing that in just because. That's like when they say, oh, this is organic, but, and it's really,
Organic perms, organic relaxers. I'm
what
like,
is
how
that?
can a relaxer
What is
be
that?
organic?
We're going off center. We're going off topic, but that's the
No,
same
we
thing. I'm
was
just
just
saying.
talking about grease, and you was talking about mineral oil, which falls on my side. Thank you very much. So,
Because it coats the hair, it makes it look shiny, but it's really not healthy for the hair. It really isn't. After a while, it gives it that it makes it look like it is at the time, but then as time goes on, it just gives it the dull because you really have to use like a harsh shampoo to get that mineral. I said again, I'm not for the coconut oil because the coconut oil I was reading on it was a Facebook group that I'm in, and they were saying that they use coconut oil on their child's hair. And I said, well, too much coconut oil is just too much because it's heavy, it's very greasy, you know, it can be very greasy. And looking at the texture of the child's hair, you don't need coconut oil on that child's hair. It was just
Mhm.
too, you know.
Yes, I like Jamaican black castor oil. Yes, adding that to your grease and shea butter is wonderful. I always suggest castor oil, especially for my clients that are thinning, and adding some rose or rosemary or even tea tree to their oil. All of that
You
is
mean the
wonderful.
tea tree essential oils? Or are you
Yes,
talking
the
about, okay.
oil, the rose essential oils or rosemary essential oil, sage or peppermint
You
oil.
got to be careful when you're starting to add essential oils, though, because you have to do like 2 drops per. Really have to read how to mix those. This
Yeah,
is not a class for that, but
right.
when you're mixing essential oils, you have to make sure that you use the specified amount of drops, because if you could put too many drops, and it'll
Yes.
be too much.
And you need to know for what reason you're using it. Because
Yes.
it's really, like some of the herbs are good for stimulation, of the
Mhm.
scalp, the red blood
Mhm.
cells to feed the scalp. But that's another story for another day. This is Tanika Gillard. I am naturally yours. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
This is Tisha McDonald's Alternatives Beauty Studio. Next week, I am having a class next Sunday and Monday. It's called Let's Get the Kinks Out. And this is really for my white clients who have biracial children and don't know how to do their hair, or my white clients who have adopted or fostered Black or biracial children, and they need help learning which products to use, when to use it, how to use it. So this was pretty good, talking about the petroleum versus the Shea, but then next week I have to go into detail about the different shampoos and the different conditioners, and if your child is 2 or 3, or the different hair types, the different hair textures. So next week, that's what I'll be doing next Sunday and next Monday. I'm excited about it. It's called Let's Get the Kinks Out. Shatika, thank you so much for all of your comments. Joanne, thank you for your comments. I guess we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Yeah, but real quick, so I won't leave the people hanging.
Right.
Make sure whether you use Shea or whether you use grease, it's good to do a clarifying or a detox shampoo at least once a month for either one, just to get that buildup out for either one. Y'all take care. Thank y'all for joining us today.
It was fun. We'll see you on Wednesday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock
Five
Central.
Central.
I was saying it. I was saying
Sorry, sorry.
it. See you later.